What is up, everybody? DanDanTheFireman here. Another discussion video. Last week I talked about old school riders and how I didn't mesh with them. That was my own personal opinion, and I actually got a lot of comments. I got a lot of comments. There's over 600 something comments now. It's a good discussion. I love it. I know I'm getting picked apart in a few areas, but that's perfectly fine. That's the whole point of a discussion. We don't have to agree on everything. But I also wanted to make this a three-part series, and I just barely started on number 2. So number 2 is honestly this generation, this millennial, the newer riders that don't mesh well, that are kind of like me, where I don't mesh well with the old school bikers. They really do need to step up. They really do need to create something of their own. The older school bikers did create the motorcycle culture. We like motorcycles. We might not like the culture, but we also do need to do something about it. And I think this is a great way of doing it. And this is my opinion, like I said. So if you do want to join the discussion, please comment below. I read every single one of them, negative or positive, it doesn't matter. But try to keep it civil. Don't try to argue with each other. Go ahead and pick me apart. That's perfectly fine. But I don't want you guys to be disrespectful to each other in the actual comments below. So I talked about old school riders making it a little bit difficult for newer school riders to basically join the motorcycle culture, to join the motorcycle enthusiasts and all that stuff, to basically buy a motorcycle. It's been kind of, the culture around it, the stigma around it has been, you know, the one percenters, the older school bikers, you know, that type of persona. And I think a lot of the newer generations, the newer people, the newer riders, and it doesn't even have to be a millennial. I mean, millennials, what, late 1990, mid-90s till mid-2000s, that's the millennial age. Well, I know some riders that are a lot older than that are just starting to ride, and they've never fit into that whole culture. So it doesn't really matter about the age. It's really about the newer rider, maybe the person behind the bike that is different than that subculture of motorcycle riders. So it's not really an excuse to not be a part of something, though. That's the thing, is that as a newer rider, as somebody that doesn't have that same personality, I do have to understand that there are others out there that have the same personality that I have, that want to be a part of something, but they don't fit in that area, but at the same time they love motorcycles. They like being a part of something that, you know, centers around motorcycles. Well, there's other people out there. I've used the excuse of not wanting to be a part of a group because that's what I thought. It's not true. You can't be doing that. You need to ride with other people, not because, you know, you have to have a brotherhood, you have to have a group of friends if you join motorcycling. It's just that when you join a group of like-minded individuals, it doesn't matter if it's motorcycling or if it's playing sports or it's doing whatever, you actually get better at it. You get safer at it. You start enjoying the sport more. You start enjoying the hobby more, and that is a huge thing, because, you know, there's only so much you can enjoy by yourself, and you're missing out on a huge portion of the motorcycling world or whatever sport you're playing in, by kind of distancing yourself from the group, even though, you know, you feel like the group is not meant for you. You just have to try it out. Now, when I talk about there's like a difference between, you know, the older school riders and newer school riders, well, really there's more of like a difference between riding clubs, riding groups, motorcycle clubs, one percenter, outlaw clubs. There's a whole bunch of subcultures and a bunch of different types of motorcyclists. Now, I understand, you know, the one percenters and outlaw people, they get most of the screen time when it comes to what is a motorcycle riding club or group. And they pretty much monopolized a lot of that, the stigma, or I'm thinking of the word here. I think it's the face of motorcycling, something like that. That's not the case. There's a lot of riders out there that are like me, that don't want to be a part of it, but we have something of our own. We start creating something of our own. We start finding people, the actual people that we mesh with. Just so happens that they like riding motorcycles too. So there's different areas of doing that. With the riding clubs, it's a little different than motorcycle clubs, and I'm going to kind of pick apart those two different things. So like the difference between a riding club and a motorcycle club, just very basic stuff. Basically, riding clubs, there's a little bit of a commitment, just a little bit of commitment to the club itself. So like, let's say the club is centered around doing like toy runs or cancer research, you know, fundraising, or just a matter of you guys meeting up at a coffee shop and you go for a ride. So obviously you have to have a little bit of a commitment to show up on time, you know, to go for a ride. But that's pretty much it. They're just there for riding. Now, motorcycle clubs, they're more for, you really have to have a huge commitment. You are there for the family. You are indoctrinated, or not indoctrinated, sorry if that offends anybody, but you are there, you're a prospect, you're a probationary firefighter, you got in, you did the hard work, you're part of the family, and you're there. You're not leaving. It's a huge commitment. And so there's kind of the difference between riding clubs and motorcycle clubs. I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for that, because I'm sure there's going to be people out there saying that's not how it is. That's perfectly fine. Please write it in the comments. Let me know. We're all here to learn. But that is kind of the difference there. Now, what is a motorcycle enthusiast? Now, I've heard that word being thrown around recently. And, honestly, I'm a motorcycle enthusiast. So basically, a motorcycle enthusiast is the person that is really interested in motorcycles. I enjoy the aspect of riding the motorcycle, my motorcycle, or any other motorcycles, because I like the feeling. I don't need the brotherhood. I don't need any of that stuff. I just like the feeling of riding a motorcycle. But I just think it's kind of cool to go meet people that have that same feeling. They don't want to be a part of a riding club or group or a motorcycle club or anything like that. They don't like that. They just want to go for a ride. They want to meet people that they like, just the people. If you're part of a group or a club, it's like you almost have to like everybody, I think. And with this, it's like you can have a set of friends, and that's kind of what I like. So I like using motorcycles as the medium to meet other riders. So that's my breaking the ice. That is my way of integrating with some other people. Is like, hey, I got a motorcycle, you got a motorcycle, let's hang out. Let's see if we like each other, And that's kind of what I do there. So I personally don't care if you even ride a motorcycle or what kind of motorcycle you ride. It's just that if you're respectful and you're the type of person I want to be with, and if you ride a motorcycle, you ride a motorcycle, that's cool. You can still be a part of the crew, you can be a part of the group that we're trying to create here, but that's how I feel about motorcycles and being an enthusiast and being a part of a club and all that stuff. I don't mesh well with the older school crowd. I just don't. And that's fine. I think that's fine. You guys can have your thing. I want to have my thing. But I think the newer generation is so used to having this internet, this digital age, to where we don't have the same personalities. We grew up with a different set of principles. We grew up with a different set of people. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just kind of how the future is going. I mean, my kids have something different than what I have. And it's something that, I kind of don't like sometimes. And there's some great things about it. Things are evolving, and I think with the terms of our involvement in the motorcycle community is that, this is the way the motorcycle community is going. And as soon as I get, in 5 more years, it's going to go a different direction. But there's nothing saying that I have to evolve with them. It's just that, I have my subgroup of people, and then maybe the newer riders are going to be upset with us. It's not a big deal. The thing is, I'm just finding what I like, my own mesh, my own group, and I think I have something going on. We have well over 800 people on the Discord. We have well over 150 DDFM crew patron members. We are literally building something here that you may or may not like, and that's perfectly fine. If you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. It's something that I truly believe in. And if you want to be a part of it, if you want to see it, the Discord's absolutely free. There's a link in the description. If you want to be part of the Patreon crew, there's a link in the description for that. It's $1 a month, and you get a whole bunch of other stuff. But for the most part, I think if you are a motorcycle enthusiast, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to be a part of a club, and you're allowed to have an opinion about the clubs and stuff. They're not above enthusiasts. They're not above the regular motorcycle rider. They just so happen to live and breathe it, and that's perfectly fine. Now, if it wasn't for enthusiasts, I mean, I'm sure the motorcycle industry would be dead. Because honestly, you have to want to ride a bike, and you're going to have to get a wide range of different types of people to buy bikes. So, I mean, we can't be shitting on each other. We really can't. And I believe that, being an enthusiast is perfectly fine. Riding around in a motorcycle club is perfectly fine. You do what you want to do. I feel like there's a subset group of people that they want to do what they want to do. And I feel like, the group that I'm creating, that I'm trying to foster here, is a very healthy one. If you want to try it out, try it out. If you don't like it, don't like it. There's no commitment. You don't have to. And you can leave, join anytime you want. But I'm going off on a tangent now. There's going to be a third part to this. There's going to be a third part where I'm talking about, what can we actually do? I know we have to step up, but I understand that newer riders need to be, they're different than older school riders. And the newer generation is a lot different, especially with the whole technology and how everything's working in the digital age. So I think the next video we'll be talking about how we can actually create something positive that I think the newer generations need to start doing. They need to start doing, or their enthusiasm, the motorcycle enthusiasts, the hobby of riding a motorcycle could go away because we're not doing what we need to do. You know what I mean? So with that said, I hope you guys ride safe, be safe. And when you join the Patreon crew, just know, or when you join the Discord crew or the DDFM crew, whatever, you'll never ride alone.